My name is Mark, and this is the story of the most terrifying night of my life. I always loved the wilderness, the crisp, untouched air, and the solitude it provided. So, when I planned a camping trip to the Arctic tundra, I was ecstatic. Little did I know, I was venturing into a nightmare. The day started innocuously enough. I set up my tent near a frozen lake, the wide expanse stretching as far as the eye could see. The silence was absolute, broken only by the occasional groan of shifting ice, as the sun dipped below the horizon. Painting the sky in hues of pink and orange, I sat by my small fire, feeling a sense of peace I hadn't felt in years. That peace was shattered when I heard it, a low, guttural growl. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. The sound was unlike anything I had ever heard. It resonated with a primal fear deep within me. Slowly, I turned toward the sound, and my blood ran cold. In the dim light of the fire, I saw it a massive shadow moving on the edge of the darkness. The beast's eyes glowed with a malevolent yellow, reflecting the flickering flames. It was a polar bear, and it was watching me. I knew polar bears were dangerous, but I hadn't expected to encounter one. I scrambled to my feet, trying to make myself look bigger, remembering every piece of advice I'd ever read about bear encounters. My mind raced as I backed toward my tent, my movements slow and deliberate. The bear advanced, its massive paws crunching the snow beneath them. I could see its breath misting in the cold air, could smell its musky odor. Panic surged through me, and I fumbled for the bear spray in my backpack. My hands trembled so badly I could barely grasp it. The bear let out another growl, louder this time, and took another step forward. I could see the raw power in its muscles, the lethal potential in its claws and teeth. My mouth went dry, and I could hardly breathe. I aimed the bear spray and pressed the trigger. A cloud of orange mist erupted from the canister, and I prayed it would be enough. The bear hesitated, shaking its head, but it didn't retreat. Instead, it roared in anger, a sound that echoed across the tundra and sent shivers down my spine. In that moment, I knew I had to run. I turned and bolted toward the tent, diving inside and zipping it shut with shaking hands. I knew the tent was no match for the bear, but it was all I had. My mind raced as I tried to think of a plan, any plan, to survive. The bear's massive body slammed into the tent, and I was thrown to the ground. The thin fabric offered no resistance as the bear's claws tore through it, and I could see its eyes, filled with rage and hunger. Just inches from my face, I screamed, kicking at the beast with all my strength. I grabbed the flare gun from my emergency kit and fired it directly at the bear. The flare exploded in a burst of light and heat, and the bear recoiled, snarling in pain. I scrambled out of the wrecked tent, my heart pounding, and ran toward the lake. The cold bit into my skin as I ran, my breath coming in ragged gasps. I could hear the bear behind me, its heavy footsteps crunching the snow. I didn't dare look back. My only hope was to reach the frozen lake and somehow lose the bear on the ice. As I reached the lake, I heard the ice groan under my weight. I knew it was a risk, but I had no choice. I ran onto the ice, my footsteps echoing in the silence. The bear followed, its massive weight causing the ice to crack and shift. Suddenly, I heard a loud crack, and the ice beneath me gave way. I plunged into the freezing water, the cold choking my system. I gasped, struggling to keep my head above water. The bear roared, hesitating at the edge of the hole. Desperation gave me strength, and I clawed at the ice, pulling myself out of the water. My clothes were soaked and heavy, my body numb with cold. I stumbled, half crawling, away from the hole, knowing I had only moments before hypothermia set in. The bear growled, but it didn't follow. The ice was too unstable. I kept moving, my vision blurring, my limbs growing sluggish. Somehow, I made it back to the shore, collapsing in a heap on the snow. I don't remember much after that, just a blur of pain and cold, and the distant sound of a helicopter. I woke up in a hospital, safe, but haunted by the memory of that night. I had survived, but I knew I would never forget the terror facing the white death in the frozen wilderness. The Arctic had shown me its true face, and it was a face I would never forget.